Member of the Bibb County GOP party living in North Macon. I want to thank the committee for hearing me today. It's very important. My testimony is unique in the sense that I was the sole Republican allowed into the tabulation, replication, and adjudication room during the entire process of the ballot opening, scanning, and the adjudication for absentee, military, and provisional ballots. During my time at the Bibb County Board of Elections from October 27th until Election Day, and then again November 13th for the first recount, I witnessed many suspicious activities, including two blatant election law violations, as well as being intimidated and ejected from the Board of Elections on November 13th by Janetta Watson, the county election supervisor, commanding a deputy sheriff to do so using law enforcement as her personal bouncer with no formal charges. I heard two issues discussed during the Senate hearing that were left unanswered, and I'd like to answer those first. It was discussed referring the pristine ballots seen during the recount that they might be reproduced ballots, but this is not true. A reproduced ballot is printed on a standard size piece of paper with a QR code and cannot be mistaken for an actual absentee ballot. Secondly, there is no difference between the absentee ballots issued from the Board of Elections and the ballots sent out by outside vendors. It was assumed in the Senate hearing that there were obvious differences, but there are not. My personal issues with the process start with the fact that when envelopes come into the building from either the post office or drop box, they're put into the Janetta's office, where she personally, as I was told, matches the signatures to the Bibb County voter rolls. This process is done in private with no Republican or any other observation for that matter. So when the absentee ballot envelopes arrive out into the workstations, they are assumed to be correct. You know, we have no way of knowing if those ballots were legitimate or not. Second, the vote review panel that I was a member of was invited to witness the absentee ballot opening process of the absentee ballot opening during Tuesday, October 27th. It was later that day I was told that the staff and the paid poll workers had been processing absentee ballots since Monday, October 19th, meaning there were 7 days of unobserved absentee ballot processing without any observation. Third, in accordance with the Georgia Code Title 21 of Elections 21 2 386, Section A, Chapter 1, Subsection G, Paragraph 7, it states, and I quote, "The absentee ballots shall be tabulated in accordance with the procedures of this chapter for the tabulation of absentee ballots. As such ballots shall be placed in locked ballot boxes and may be transferred to locked ballot bags if needed for security. The ballots were left unsecured in standard plastic post office tubs under the tables and hidden behind a rolling partition for the entire time I was there, which was about 2 weeks." Subsection G, paragraph 3 of the same document explains that the county election superintendent can only open the inner envelopes on election day unless a letter was sent to the Secretary of State's office at least 7 days in advance and published on the website. After several calls, I couldn't find evidence of that letter, and I'm assuming opening them 2 weeks in advance and keeping them unsecured is a violation of two election laws. There is an occasion where I was ejected from the Board of Elections by the uh, county election superintendent, but since I'm limited time, I'd rather not do that one right now. But in closing, the entire election process has created many problems with Americans, primarily trust in the system. The major problem was the fraud of the left trying to steal the election as they made the numbers too big. Anyone that believes Joe Biden received 10 million more votes than Obama is delusional. The fate of the United States hangs in the balance with the January 5th runoff elections. Now that our election has reached the Supreme Court, it's time to defend Georgia. So I'm calling out to the governor and the Democrats of the General Assembly to call an emergency session. It takes 3/5 votes to do this. For those that don't believe in the Constitution, every single government official, including each of you, took an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States, and we demand that you do that here. You need to defend our election process and protect the runoffs on January 5th by admitting that the level of fraud is so great that there's no way to determine real from fake. The General Assembly needs to be an example to the other states and do the right thing. Join the Texas Supreme Court case. Either take back your power, call a special session, and pass laws to prevent fraud for January 5th, or admit to the citizens of Georgia, America, and the world that you don't support fair elections. It's time to choose a side. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stonne. I do not see any questions from anyone. I appreciate you being here with us today. Thank you for your testimony, and we're going to go ahead because I believe Ms. McCarthy is with us today.